DOJ has sued SpaceX. And they did that yesterday, alleging that Musk's company discriminates, which is something we've seen and heard before. But this time it's about their hiring practices against refugees and people granted asylum in the United States. This lawsuit in particular, it seeks to win fair consideration and back pay for asylees and refugees who were deterred or denied employment at SpaceX due to the alleged discrimination, as well as the government wants some civil penalties and policy changes from the company. This from CNBC. The DOJ has been investigating SpaceX since June 2020 when the department's Immigrant and Employee Rights section received a complaint of employment discrimination from a non-U.S. citizen. The lawsuit says between 2018 and 2022, SpaceX wrongly claimed that export control laws limited its hiring to U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents. Yeah, that seems to be problematic in terms of saying there's a limit here. We do know that Kristen Clark, the Assistant Attorney General of DOJ Civil Rights Division, said in this following in the investigation. We're going to slide 3. Our investigation found that SpaceX failed to fairly consider or hire asylees and refugees because of their citizenship status and imposed what amounted to a ban on their hire, regardless of their qualification in violation of federal law. Clark added that the DOJ investigation found SpaceX recruiters and high-level officials took actions that actively discourage asylees and refugees from seeking work opportunities at the company. According to data SpaceX provided, the DOJ said that over a nearly 4-year period and across more than 100,000 hires, the company hired only one individual who was an asylee and identified as such in his application. That definitely sounds like SpaceX is limiting its hiring. And it's funny because we know with Elon Musk's other company, Tesla, that they have some issues with discrimination in their hiring practices and their workplace treatment because we know of all the lawsuits and the settlements that have happened there. Brett, are you surprised?
I've never seen this kind of a thing as a claim. You guys are refusing to hire asylees. This is like when you see a new thing in a report and you're like, I guess I should be mad at that. Like, I mean, I think that's just a natural response I have where it's like, I didn't know this was a metric that people usually function by. So I always like hesitate to jump in and be like, I'm mad at this thing I've never heard of before. But then you think about it and like when a lot of the people on the right wing who are like on the libertarian side are always say like, oh, you know, what you do, look at all these people that came from these other countries to America looking for a leg up and you gotta work hard and do everything you can and you'll make it to the top. Like that is exactly what they should be behind when it comes to asylees from refugees from other countries. People come here trying to do exactly the thing you guys said. And it's almost a cliche by now when you say like this guy was an top of his class engineer at the nation he came from and he came here and he couldn't get a job. And when they talk about which kinds of immigrants they want when you're on the like kind of racist right, they say we want the engineers and we want the people like that to come in and make science better in America. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Why don't you hire them? I think you need more than these kinds of stats. You need actual cases so you can compare people side by side to see if someone was really qualified. But yeah, life's hard enough being someone who had to leave their homeland because their country went to crap, probably because of something America did to it. So I think they should have a little bit softer a landing when they get here in all scenarios.
Yeah. And it definitely seems that the US Attorney's Office Civil Rights Division, where I used to work, that they do have the evidence there showing that these individuals were qualified, otherwise they wouldn't have brought the suit. But also when you have 10,000 applications and you hired one, like get the hell out of here. You can't tell me there's not discrimination going on, especially also why apply to SpaceX of all places? And it shows you that the individuals who are probably applying are probably science-minded people who had to flee their countries. And if we are gonna have laws that are protecting people, we should have them and actually enforce them. But God forbid the United States do that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.